For your viewing pleasure, this broadcast of the Municipal Council meeting of Alpena is made possible by the funding provided by the City of Alpena. Thank you for your generosity.
Good evening and welcome to Alpena City Council meeting April 17th, 2017. Roll please.
Johnson?
Here. Here.
Nielsen?
Here.
Noah?
Here.
Sexton?
Here.
Walagora?
Here. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Modifications to the agenda. I have one at the request of Karen for an election announcement for number 8.
We don't have to add it on.
Oh, we don't have to
No,
add
it
it
can
on?
just be under announcements number 8.
Oh, all right, it's going to go under announcements number 8. Anything else? Thank you. Approval of the minutes, regular session of April 3rd, 2017, and closed session of April 3rd, 2017. Any issues, changes? Citizens appearing before council on the agenda and non-agenda items are allowed 5 minutes each to address your concerns. This is the only time during this meeting you'll be allowed to address council. If you'd like to do so, please come to the podium and state your name and address for our records. The consent agenda this evening is A, bills to be allowed in the amount of $287,659.64. And B is the renewal of auditing services, Straley, Lamp, and Kraenzlein, PC, July 1st, 2017 to June 30th, 2018.
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Nielsen?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes.
Sexton?
Yes.
Walagora?
Aye.
Johnson?
Yes.
Announcements, Karen?
Yes. The city has a new voting location for Precinct 3, formerly at the Presbyterian Church, and Precinct 6, which was formerly St. Bernard's. Effective November 7th of this year, at the general election, those two precincts will vote at St. Anne's Parish Hall. This is not a new merging of precincts, it's simply a new location that they both will be at. It'll save some money and labor by everybody. And then new voter registration cards will come out notifying Precinct 3 voters and Precinct 6 voters. And I also may put a letter together for taxes this year to just with some general information such as that. There's better lighting, better parking, and there's heat and cool air conditioning, whereas they're both in gyms right now and it's not as good. So we're working with St. Anne's on that and we're all set.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Down to the report of officers. A is the city treasurer's report, quarterly financial report, January 1st, 2017 to March 31st, 2017.
We're 3/4 of the way through the fiscal year. The general revenue is at $9.5 million, or 85.84%. Expenditures are at $8.1 million, or about 73%. And I'm going to be referring to the bar graphs. They're at the end of your financial report. The revenue all looks good. You can see the red bar is the prorated budget. The annual budget is the yellow line, and then the blue is our actual spent or actual received. The only one that's lagging behind is state revenue. That's normally revenue sharing and some grants. They do tend to run behind. As far as the expenditures, the fire is just slightly above prorated amounts by about 70. They're at about 76%. Nothing significant. It's for typical operating supplies, repairs, and maintenance. So sometimes you have repairs that you don't expect. So hopefully that will have some months where we don't have any expenses, and that'll come back down. Parks are at about 91.5%, which would seem worrisome, except the majority of their expenses are in the summer. That's when we have our summer help, we do our lawns and all of the maintenance in the parks. The Trailhead Bike Path was a large project in there also. There is an accrual of $45,000 that will come out, so we should be good on that. And I just wanted to point out on the other sheet that's in the back with your bar graphs, that's our cash and investments. That compares the last 3 years at this point in time. Just a few things that may look a little out of place for you. The DDA number 2 is about $100,000 ahead of the last 2 years at this time. However, that's just because we got our county tax settlement a month ahead. You know, it's about $100,000 from the county, so normally we get that in April. The building inspection fund, you can see, is in the negative this year. It was last year at this time also. Every year we subsidize that anyway because it really is part of the general fund. The state just wants us to break it out to show that it's there as a service and not to make money. The construction public safety facility, you can see it's at 0 now. We've used it all up. Got a lot of large projects done, the roof and the HVAC and some of that, so finishing that up this year. And then the capital improvement fund, that's for City Hall, the cemetery, and the marina. As you can see, that went down quite a bit, and again, we did some outside work here, and we're gonna do HVAC and a few other things, and then that money's gonna be gone. But these are very necessary capital improvements, as you guys know, on the buildings, so we just have to do those. The retiree healthcare, there's actually an error there. This year it says $611,000. That should be $1,110,000, and that's because 2 CDs were not included that should have been.
Which one?
The last one on the first part of it, retiree employee healthcare,
This one.
Mhm.
Should be a million?
1,000,001. There's 500,000 in CDs. And then in the equipment fund, I just wanted to point out to you that, as you can see, each year we're tending to trend down. And we've known that for quite a few years. We've been trying to be very careful with that. It's less rental revenue and less interest income. We used to get 90,000 in interest income. But a lot of things are going down. We may have to start financing rather than paying cash for some of our vehicles. And I know Rich has to cut back on his DPW vehicles, so just got to be careful with that fund.
Might add too, I think Rich has done 1 or 2 refurbishing of vehicles, which has been far less expensive, and so far the results have been very good in terms of the quality of the work and the durability. So we're going to continue to do that. It's a firm out of Grand Rapids, I believe, that has been doing that. And we find that works very well rather than the cost of new vehicles.
The budget will be presented on May 1st. The draft will be on the website at that time for everybody to look at. And then our public hearing on the budget will be May 15th. So the public can come and take a look at it.
And just as a reminder, which for some might be good, I will not be here on the 1st for the budget. So if it's good, you can always say some nice things about me. If it's bad, Karen's here to answer any questions about them.
Well, we'll just change it while you're on
Well, that's what I was
vacation.
told too by some others. Yes, they'll just change it. So that's fine. But I will be here on the 15th when there's the public hearing. So, and obviously Karen and I have been working very closely together on the budget throughout the process. So I think it will be a very workable budget.
Are there any questions on the report or anything you see? Please.
Second.
Nowak?
Yes.
Sexton?
Yes.
Walagora?
Aye.
Johnson?
Yes.
Nielsen?
Yes.
Thanks, Karen. Next up is, thank you as well, 2016 Annual Monitoring of Reports.
I'll just summarize because it is a lengthy memo. But the city has 6 companies that hold tax exemptions. We require them to give an annual update. It's called a monitoring report about their capital expenses they've spent and the employment level they predicted. I've listed the status of each company in my memo. In summary, ATI Casting is inactive. They did not fulfill their abatement requirements, but their exemption ended December of 16, so they're all done. Elroy Steel has exceeded their capital investments and met their employment projections. Their exemption ends in December of 2019. Dewville Johnson has exceeded their capital investments, but have not met their projected employment level since 15. They've gone above it and then came down, back down below it. So I think they're only within like one employee. David Neshaw's building exceeded the capital investment estimate, but has been unsuccessful in maintaining a business in the building. He's really struggled. The building is currently up for sale or lease. Dean Arbor Ford has exceeded both their investment and employment projections. Alpena Lodging is still in the construction stage. They have reported capital investments of $3.46 million through 2016 and 3 employees. Their total estimated capital investment was $8.25 million and 15 to 20 new jobs. I really had struggled to get a hold of them and get answers from them, so I do believe the capital investment will be higher than this report. So once I get that, I'll pass that along to you. While not all the companies were successful, over $22 million in capital investments was completed, and jobs were retained and some new ones created.
Just, I've been in contact with Dave Neshaw. He usually will call me every couple of months if it's vacant as it is now. And we keep in touch. And he's struggling. He is trying very hard. But it's just been unfortunate. It seemed like a perfect location for a restaurant, which it was before. But he just has not had luck with those he's gotten in there being able to maintain their business. So he continues to work at it. Fortunately, it's probably the smallest of all the tax abatements in terms of the dollars being abated. And the building still certainly has a lot of value that, whoever would go in there. Preferably a restaurant would be nice, but depending, it could be something else as well. If it's so, it's something hopefully that can take advantage of the park and the waterfront that it's on, and the easement that we gave for that, screened-in porch area that's on the back. So, he is giving it every effort. He's working very hard to try to get that filled.
Thank you both. Anything on that?
Can we just do some on it, please?
So moved.
Sexton?
Yes.
Walagora?
Aye.
Johnson?
Yes.
Nielsen?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes. That's it, huh? I move we adjourn to closed session to discuss pending litigation.
Second.
Walagora?
Aye.
Johnson?
Yes.
Nielsen?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes.
Sexton?
Yes.